Climate change is being described as a major threat to our international peace and security. Now the global race to net zero is on. That is, cutting greenhouse gas emissions to as close to zero as possible. Here in Perth, Greens MLC Brad Pettit is part of the Net-Zero Perth collaboration and he joins us now. Thank you for your time, Brad.
Nice to be with you.
Where does WA sit in the global race to net zero?
Unfortunately, we're a laggard rather than a leader when we talk about the race to net zero, but thankfully, despite that, we've got a lot of work to do. We can be a leader because we've got all the best resources. We've got sun, we've got wind, we've got smart people, and we can actually make that transition very quickly.
In fact, Perth is one of the world's worst performing cities for emissions. How is this the case?
Yeah, that's true. If you look at it on a per capita basis, we're right up there with some of the highest in the world. It's about 60 million tonnes can be associated with Perth. It's really high, but that's partly because we're a big sprawling city. We're a city with big houses and probably not enough trees, but we can fix all those things if we actually start to make some of the changes that we need to do to get our emissions down and get them down this decade.
We are a big sprawling state, but as you just said, we have an abundance of sunshine, plenty of wind. Why aren't these natural resources being utilised more?
We're seeing people put it on their roofs. Actually, Perth people have done a great job. We've got one of the highest amount of rooftop solar in the world, but we haven't seen that government investment in wind, in storage, which is really important to actually complement those two things. But also, we haven't seen the right kind of investments in actually making our city based around public transport so we can travel more efficiently using electric vehicles. All those kind of things we're still going a bit slow and catching up on. But what's been great about this collaboration is having the best and brightest minds in WA all talking together. Actually, we all agree on the solutions. And that's actually what's quite exciting about this, is we kind of know where we need to go now, and now it's about speeding it up and actually making it happen this decade.
Problem is a lot of the solutions are horrendously expensive.
They're often investments, and I think that's the key bit, is when you buy, for example, solar, you're actually buying 25 years worth of power, and then it's free from there on in. So actually, a lot of what we need to do is a big investment up front in actually making our city more sustainable, and then we'll see bills come down and a better connected, more livable city as well as a low carbon city.
Well, Brad, how will Net-Zero Perth achieve net zero emissions? I mean, what is the plan?
Well, there isn't a plan at the moment, but one of the things that we're doing as this collaboration is actually going to government with some options around what they could do. And it would be things around creating many more transit-orientated developments around train stations so people can choose to get to work by public transport or on their bike. And much greater investment in renewable energy and those kinds of things. More efficient housing. We have some of the biggest, most carbon hungry houses in the world that need an air conditioner to make them comfortable. We can design houses that don't need heating and cooling. So we've got all these solutions, and then it's around actually making sure we have a clear plan, linking all those up and rolling them out and investing in those over the years ahead.
And having those solutions heard, I guess. Look, we have a few viewer comments for you, Brad. Marco Amelia reckons net zero is a scam, merely being rolled out to bring on more taxes to further enslave everyone.
I'm not sure what enslaving everyone would mean in this context, but it's not. It's actually a really important part of what we need to do. I mean, the UN came out this week and said we are not on track for a safe climate. In fact, we are on track to actually dangerous levels of global warming that are going to actually see our cities go underwater. That's the things we don't want to see. So we actually need to work together to get our emissions down as quickly. And net zero is about doing this in a way that's effective, efficient, and ultimately will save people money and make Perth an even better place to live.
And Margot Todd says, tell this to China, Indonesia, Russia, etc. The small population in Australia is like 1%. We should be concentrating on real problems in Perth.
Yeah. We are a small population, but our emissions are pretty large considering how small we are. And climate's only going to be solved if every country, every city, every neighbourhood does their bit. We've all got to do it. In fact, I mean, China's investing the rest of the world on renewable energy now. So we're seeing leadership all over the world. And one of the things that we need to do is, as a rich state, as a prosperous city, do our bit to actually speed that up.
Well, there are some bold solutions there. Greens MLC Brad Pettit, looking forward to catching up and finding out how they're going.
Thank you very much.